There is something quietly powerful about the way Aleksey Golesh has navigated his life and career, something that doesn't announce itself loudly or demand attention, yet resonates deeply with anyone who truly understands the essence of coaching. His story is not one of entitlement or ease. It is the story of a man who began life thousands of miles away from the beating heart of American football, and who nevertheless grew into one of the sport's most captivating modern architects. He embodies the rare combination of intellectual curiosity, grit, cultural adaptability, and emotional maturity that turns a coach from simply a play caller into a builder of identity, of belief, and of lasting structure. Golesh is not a coach who wins through personality or theatrics. He wins through understanding, through connection, through detail, through a genuine love for shaping people and programs. Long before he became a rising head coach, long before his time as an offensive coordinator whose offenses terrorized defensive coordinators across the country, Aleksey Golesh was simply a young kid absorbing a new world. Moving from Moscow to America as a child meant immersing himself in a language he didn't speak, customs he didn't know, and a game he'd never seen. But for a boy naturally drawn to structure, strategy, and human behavior, football wasn't just exciting. It was a puzzle waiting to be solved. He approached the sport the way a scholar approaches unfamiliar theory, studying its hidden logic, its rhythms, its nuances. Rather than seeing football only as athletic expression, he saw it as a series of interconnected systems, all dependent on harmony, precision, and the ability to manipulate space. That lens would become the core of his coaching identity. As he grew, so did his fascination with the ecosystem of football. What excited him wasn't just big plays or the adrenaline of game day. It was the architecture behind the scenes, the preparation, the organization, the intentionality, the ability to create something from nothing. And that passion led him into coaching not because he wanted authority, but because he wanted to teach. He wanted to design environments that allowed players to thrive. He wanted to be in the trenches of development, shaping not just skill sets but mentalities. Unlike coaches who rocket into high-profile roles early, Golesh's career was built through long hours, low title positions, and years spent absorbing from others. At Ohio State, he learned the importance of elite standards and high-level recruiting. At Northern Illinois and Toledo, he learned the value of finding overlooked gems, of evaluating beyond measurables and recognizing hunger. At Illinois, he learned the complexity of building within a program searching for stability. Every stop, every season, every meeting room simply sharpened him further. But it was at Iowa State where he truly began merging intellect with leadership. Under Matt Campbell, Golesh evolved from simply a student of the game into a shaper of the game. He helped craft tight end development plans, red zone innovations, and strategic efficiencies rooted in personnel strengths rather than rigid philosophies. He learned to build relationships that mattered, that transcended football. His players trusted him not because he yelled the loudest, but because he saw them, not just as athletes, but as people with families, pressures, dreams, and insecurities. By the time he reached UCF and then Tennessee, Golesh's football mind had become one of the most fluid and adaptable in the country. He wasn't imitating other offenses, he was evolving his own. At Tennessee, he helped unleash an offensive hurricane built on tempo, spacing, leverage, and precision. His units didn't just score, they suffocated. They dictated pace, forced mismatches, and neutralized defensive complexity by creating chaos through rhythm. Quarterbacks flourished under his guidance. Receivers found freedom in the vertical seams he crafted. Running backs thrived because his play sequencing manipulated linebacker eyes. What Golesh brought wasn't just scheme, it was philosophy. But what separated him from other offensive masterminds was the human layer behind all the strategy. His offense worked not simply because it was fast, but because players bought into every detail. They trusted the system because they trusted the man designing it. He communicated with clarity. He taught with patience. He challenged with purpose. He knew that confidence is the quiet engine of execution, and he built confidence in his players every day of every season. And beneath all of this football brilliance, behind the tempo, the spacing, the analytics, the personnel mastery, was the grounding force that shaped everything about him: family. Golesh has always spoken about how his family sustained him during the grind of coaching. His wife, His children, they are the reason he understands balance, empathy, emotional intelligence. They anchor him in what matters. Coaching long hours, managing staff, carrying the burden of expectation, it can pull a person into imbalance. But Golesh has never lost sight of who he is outside the facility. His family reminds him that leadership isn't just about football. It's about modeling integrity, consistency, and love. So when South Florida brought him in as head coach, they weren't just hiring an offensive mind. They were hiring an architect capable of rebuilding something at every level. The Bulls needed more than scheme. They needed identity. They needed culture. They needed belief. And that is what Golesh delivered. From his first day in Tampa, he approached the program as a long-term construction project, not a short-term patch job. He reshaped practice structure. He rebuilt the strength program with intention. He emphasized accountability and ownership. He re-energized recruiting pipelines. He built a staff that mirrored his values. Teachers first, competitors second, ego never. And the result was immediate. The team began to find itself again. Under Golesh, USF started playing with tempo, with swagger, with urgency. Fans who had grown tired of inconsistency suddenly found themselves watching a team that believed in itself. Players who had struggled to find footing now thrived inside a system designed around clarity and explosiveness. Morale lifted. Standards rose. The locker room began to feel like a place where futures were built, not wasted. But Golesh's real gift lies in his ability to meet players where they are. He doesn't treat them like commodities. He understands their pressure, the weight of school, performance, expectation, and youth. He builds them up not by coddling them, but by showing them that their growth is a shared mission. He sees their potential before they see it themselves. He creates discipline without fear, focus without tension, and accountability without resentment. His players don't run through walls for him because of intimidation. They do it because of loyalty. His evolution into a head coach seems almost inevitable in hindsight. Everything in his life prepared him for the moment when he would take full command of a program. His international upbringing taught him adaptability. His years as a young assistant taught him humility. His time as a recruiter taught him communication. His offensive rise taught him innovation. His family taught him grounding. Put all those elements together, and you have the anatomy of a leader truly built for the modern era of college football. And yet, Golesh still approaches every day with the mindset of a learner, not a finished product. He watches film obsessively. He studies trends with an open mind. He adapts quickly and abandons stubbornness that often traps other coaches. He never assumes he has arrived, because he knows progress is a moving target. His humility in success is as impressive as his resilience in setbacks. As he continues to build USF into a program capable of competing at the highest level, the essence of his leadership shines even brighter. He is creating infrastructure that will outlast any single season. He is mentoring young players who will one day credit him for shaping not only their careers, but their identities. He is building a community of believers, fans, players, families, alumni, who once again see the Bulls as a rising force rather than a fading memory. And maybe that is the greatest gift Aleksey Golesh brings to the game. He doesn't simply coach football. He transforms programs. He energizes locker rooms. He builds trust where trust has been shaken. He teaches young men how to pursue excellence without losing themselves. His story is not finished. In many ways, it's only beginning. But already, his impact radiates across every team he has touched, every player he has raised, every offense he has constructed, and every family that has felt his presence. His journey stands as a reminder of what is possible when intelligence and humility work hand in hand, when preparation and passion fuse into purpose, when coaching becomes not a profession, but a calling. Aleksey Golesh is shaping something special at South Florida. Not just wins, not just offensive fireworks, not just renewed excitement. He is shaping character. He is shaping belief. He is shaping a vision that extends beyond stadium lights and Saturday afternoons. And as he continues on this remarkable path, his story will only grow richer, deeper, and more impactful, because that is who he is. A builder, a mentor, a strategist, a leader, a man who understands that greatness is never given, only constructed. Thank you for spending this time exploring the incredible journey of Aleksey Golesh, his rise, his vision, his leadership, and the steady, inspiring way he is transforming the programs he touches. If you enjoyed this long-form tribute and want more powerful stories like this, make sure to stay connected and keep supporting this series. Your engagement is what keeps these deep dives alive. Until next time, stay inspired, stay passionate, and continue celebrating the figures who elevate the world of sports.